people. So, yo, I'm not gonna lie. When it comes on to these episodes, even though there are entertainment and nice moments in them, I mean, it's a Chunin Exams for crying out loud. But it's as I told a coworker earlier this week, like, yo, this, for all intents and purposes, is just a pastime right now. Especially even based on the 1 and 2 spoilers and episode synopsises that I've seen. It seems like this arc isn't even going to last long, much less. So, really and truly, I'm just looking forward to these exams. Hopefully, we can get some good fights for the most part. So, yeah, I am curious to see what's gonna happen after this arc, though. You know, maybe the anime might end temporarily, go on hiatus. I don't know. Probably they're making too much money for that to happen either way. So it is what it is. But yo, welcome to the channel. Of course, Boruto episode 223. Let's see what this episode has to offer. Of course, leave a like if you end up enjoying my reaction and thoughts on the episode. Subscribe if you're new. And yeah, let's see how this episode goes. Hope you guys are having an awesome day too. So there's that. Good old Sunday, right? Let's get into it. All right, here we go. Wait, Himawari? That's how Konarama seems so pumped, brother. Like, yes, me. So, stop the foolishness. We know that something got interrupt the exam. As always. See there, as my talk. Ready and prime for interrupt the exams. Tell her, dog. It's as I said last episode, stop keeping the Chunin exams in Konoha, dog. I guess this makes sense because it's not like they've stated in the manga that he's a Chunin, so I guess they have to come up with some excuse to say, oh, you didn't actually get through as a Chunin. So yeah. Probably should have led with that Naruto. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Houki can do because, like, from last episode till now, they're like building up this man. Like, whoa, yes, I mean. Oh, whoa, oh, okay, AMADO. Oh, okay, all right. So this episode has officially finally caught my interest. Then, I mean, if they're doing like a little side plot here with AMADO, you know, to kind of prolong the game of Among Us. Let's see what happens. This will be. I wonder if it's a case where these are like Kara Otas, and like they think like, you know, Kara or AMADO owes them something, and it's like, yo, we just sneak into Konoha, meet with them, and then capture AMADO. But I guess we'll see what happens for the most part. In the meantime, we get down to this fight. Alright, see it start, you know. Alright, Earth style looking clean. For Houki to pull off such a grand skill Earth style. Yeah, I'm actually kind of bad for real. Can't really say it's like a real Anbu Black Ops because, like, with how the stage set now is like, yeah, it's more in line with that how I think an Anbu Black Ops would operate. Long time if you do that, brother. Get that aerial view. Yo. Yo. Earth clone. Ah, Jano. It's looking a bit freaky, dog. Frigga god. So ah, makes sense. I think a lot of persons consider that between Naruto for Naruto and Boruto. Jeez and peace. Well, clearly Boruto I miss you now. Make it back to this exam now, cause yeah, plot. Oh well. Alright, so that was episode 223. Actually, a pretty decent episode. The fight between Inojin and Houki was actually pretty good, and even with the hype around Houki from last episode, like him actually bad. But not like him decent, you see me? So I don't really have no complaints about that. Generally my general thoughts on this episode is kind of similar to like last episode, where my it's kind of like a broken record at this point when it comes on to talking about like episodes like this. When it comes on to the Boruto anime in general, is that even though it's entertainment, is nice, as I said in the beginning, it's a nice way to even pass time, let the manga build up, etc., etc. But I personally want to know and hope that all of this matters in the long run, in the grand scheme of things. Are we just going to continue the vibe that, oh, we're just close to the manga, so it's time to give these characters time to kill time? That's the thing. So and that to me kind of forms the core of the problem I've had with the Boruto anime on a whole, especially before the Kara actuation and the recent arcs that have been adapted from the manga. So that's basically that. No, in terms of this episode, no, even though my thoughts on this episode is kind of separate from my general thoughts in terms of the arc, or the characters in this arc really matter in the grand scheme of things, it still kind of ties in to a degree, because it kind of affects the plot. Because as I was saying during my reaction, of course in the manga it's not like they've said like Boruto's a Chunin now or anything along the lines of that. So you kind of see manifest in the episode for the most part, where the writers have to kind of come up with some kind of side plot to take Boruto himself, at least Boruto, out of the action, to potentially say, oh, this is the reason he's not a Chunin, so it can at least line back up with the manga. Now I know the anime has made changes to the manga material here and there. Like in the manga, Sarada has a 3 Tomoe Sharingan already, versus here in the anime she still has a 2 Tomoe. So of course, they could, change up some stuff and he was actually a Chunin and stuff. But for the most part, until proven otherwise, yeah, the differences between the two mediums kind of manifest in the anime, kind of having to introduce these plot elements that have to make it line up back with the manga, if you know what I mean. So there's that. So it was kind of like, yeah, Boruto and Mitsuki being signaled by, Himawari in terms of the situation about the sketchy people. It was, looking back at it now, finishing the episode and taking everything else into consideration, is like, okay, yeah, I think I could have seen them actually doing this for real. So there's that. But I will admit that the decision to at least include AMADO as the person that these quote-unquote sketchy people are kidnapping kind of leaves room for us, the audience, to get material that we could be interested in actually seeing, while we actually wait for the story, for the manga to build up, or at least it could tie into whatever they have planned for after this Chunin exam mini arc is actually over. So there's that. And of course, what I always say, despite my problems with the Boruto anime, what I want when it comes on to those times when we're waiting for the manga to build up, is to get material that we actually would want to see for the until the manga builds up, that middle ground until then. And involving AMADO, I think, is a nice way to build interest for whatever they may have planned on outside this arc. We might start getting things coming to fruition where Kara Otas or something along the lines of that. So yeah, that's basically what it really comes down to. So I really like that move when it comes on to this episode, is basically what I'm saying, because now I'm actually like curious on a more medium to long term basis in terms of what they're going to do when it comes on to that. So there's that. Now, of course, as I said, it's a Chunin Exams, it's entertaining. seeing Inojin, seeing Houki, the fight was a nicely choreographed fight. Taking into consideration the background of his characters, especially Houki, because of course Anbu Black Ops, and of course I think I should have saw that coming when it came on today. The mind transfer jutsu and thing, and Houki having something to kind of fend off mental attacks. I should have expected as much. So when it comes down to like choreography and the decisions that the characters made, given their background for the most part, like it made perfect sense because as I was saying, Houki changed the terrain, kind of to allow him to fight more so like a Anbu, you know what I mean? But of course, they had to drop in that whole tidbit from side that Houki can memorize the terrain like anywhere or anything he's seen essentially. So yeah, I wonder if that's like genetic or something, dog, cause or it's just like a quirk of his, maybe. So there's that. Um, so yeah, of course, there's kind of still Kawaki there in the background, kind of observing and thing. What's nice about this from the perspective of at least tying it back into the manga, which is something I stress when it comes on to these anime original episodes, tie things back into the manga, have, make me feel as if these anime moments, even though they're just there to kind of make the manga build up, at least for the most part, at least allow me to feel that it matters in the grand scheme of things. So, tiny bit of spoilers, but I imagine most of you here actually read the manga. Of course, Kawaki's eventually is going to start his whole, ninja, quote unquote, ninja journey at some point. And probably they could tie it in that, watching the Chunin exams and everything kind of ties back into that Uzumaki family moment when, he's trying on the headband and everything. Maybe it could tie into that. So, probably they could say, he was kind of inspired, looking back at it. Or maybe even with the whole things between the whole training between the new Team 7, it can make references to the Chunin exam and Kawaki saying, okay, all these ninja training and stuff. And, those of you who read that chapter after, the fight against Ishiki and Momoshiki know what I'm talking about when we had that sparring match between the entirety of, Kawaki versus Team 7, essentially. So they could potentially tie it in from a, character, BS, perspective to kind of add on a bit more, like an additional layer to, how Kawaki is going to express himself. Give more context for when he expresses himself in those situations, down the line once we actually get back to adapting the manga. So, at the end of the day, the episode kind of succeeds in, potentially laying the groundwork to tying back to the manga to when it comes on to a character perspective with Kawaki, maybe. And at least when it comes on to the content itself, I mean, it was decent in terms of the fight. It was well informed in terms of the backgrounds of these characters, in addition to potentially laying the groundwork to give us content that would actually be, interested in seeing for the medium to long term. So yeah, basically that. But let me know what you guys thought about it. Those are my thoughts for the most part. Nothing too crazy, nothing too dramatic. But yeah, all in all, I hope you guys are still enjoying these episodes. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Leave a like, naturally. Subscribe, because you don't know. But yeah, hope you guys are having an awesome Sunday. Back to work, school, everything tomorrow. So yeah. But anyway, I'll see you in the next Boruto video.